RTOS stands for Real-Time Operating System. It must be intelligent enough to work with different environments. Instant of execution of this program, the time at which the program is executed, that is called as a process. Hello, a warm welcome to everyone. It is Dr. Ravikumar YB, Department of Computer Science, Vidyashram, Mysuru, the Temple of Excellence. In today's session, you will learn about the real-time operating systems. What does the mean of real-time operating systems? Let me brief you about the operating systems and then what is real-time operating systems. If you want your hardware to interact with your users, then you must have installed an operating system which acts as an interface between an hardware and a user. That is called as an operating system. In case if you want to have a real-time operating system, the real-time operating system is an intelligent system. That is, a real-time operating system is defined as a data processing system in which the time interval required to process and respond to inputs is so small that it controls the environment. That is, an AI system or artificial intelligence system is considered here as a real-time operating system, also called as RTOS. RTOS is very important in AIs, that is in case of artificially intelligent system. What does the mean of AI here? I had explained you about the automobile industry in which the manufacturing hub is set up with few robots. If you look at the manufacturing hub of automobile industries, you will see that a sequence of robots where robot 1 interacts with robot 2, robot 2 interacts with robot 3, and which in turn delivers the product to the user. What is that robot 1 is doing? Robot 1 is bringing some item to this robot 2. As soon as the item is delivered to robot 2, the robot 2 starts working, and the robot 2 starts delivering the system to the robot 3. Robot 3 in turn manufactures and delivers the prepared or manufactured goods or manufactured material to the manufacturer. So what is that it is going to develop? When one process is being delivered, it waits here and works in tandem. In tandem means in parallel with R1. As soon as the item is delivered to it, it starts working. The R1 does not keep silent. The R1 robot keeps doing the next job, which is required in parallel execution, so that RTOS does the task of delivery of goods to R2, R2 does the task of delivery of product to R3, R3 delivers the final product to user or to the manufacturer. So what happens during the execution of R3, R2 will not sit idle. R2 will keep on doing its work. While R2 is working, R1 will not keep idle. it will be working for next product to be delivered to R2. So this kind of sequence of execution will be going on among different robots. Suppose if one of the robot fails, the entire system collapses. In order to work all these robots in tandem, that is in parallel execution, we must have an operating system called RTOS, where RTOS stands for real-time operating system. It must be intelligent enough to work with different environments. That is the meaning of this. The time taken by the system to respond to an input and display a required updated information is termed as the response time. The time from which the data is given as input to the system, that is, the data is given as input to the system, the time required to respond the output to the other system is called as response time. Response time. Now, so in this method, the response time is very less as compared to online processing system. That is, it must be very efficient enough to work with other robots. So, real-time systems are used when there are rigid time requirements on the operation of a processor or the flow of data, and the real-time systems can be used as a control device in a dedicated application. As I have already told you that automobile sector is one of the applications or an example wherein you will see that automobile sector as one of the important application or specific dedicated application that requires this RTOS. A real-time operating system must have well-defined fixed time constraints, otherwise the system will fail. As I have already told you that if any one of the robot fails, the entire system collapses. That is the thing I am conveying you here. For example, scientific experiments, medical imaging systems, industrial control systems, then weapon systems, robots, air traffic control systems, etc. All these are certain important type of applications or examples related to real-time operating systems. A system component is a process or a program, utility, or another part of a computer's operating system that helps to manage different areas of the computer. There are multiple system components at work in a computer operating system, each serving a specific function. That means CPU is performing certain operations like processing operations. Memory device is performing the operations of memory operations, that is saving the data in memory. All these are certain specific operations. Together, they allow the operating system and computer to function correctly and efficiently. They together will work in coordination to make the system work efficiently. If that is the case, which are the system components or tasks that is required to be done by the computer? The system components include, the first one is process management, second one is main memory management, third one is file management, fourth one is IO system management, fifth one is secondary storage management, sixth one is networking, seventh one is protection system. So with this, let me take up the very first type of management, that is process management. What is a process then? Process. When do I call it as a process? I have a program here, software here, set of instructions. When the program is being executed by the processor or any software, then we say that there is a process. The time at which the program is executed, that is called as a process. In order to execute this program, we need a software that is called as an operating system. in order to execute this application program, I require a software called operating system. This operating system is responsible for management of this process, that is execution of program. That becomes a process. Suppose if there are multiple programs to be executed, suppose I do not have only one program, I have multiple programs which needs to be executed, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then how can I do that? This has to be managed by the process management system. How the process management is done? The process management is done by using the help of the data structure called process control block. If that is the case, let us see to it. The operating system manages many kinds of activities ranging from user programs to system programs. That is user programs to system programs. Who is that? The one who manages these programs, user programs? Operating system. Again, operating system is a system program. So these system programs manages the user programs. The same thing is explained here. Manages the system programs like printer spooler, name servers, file servers, etc. Each of these activities is encapsulated in a process. That is, the time in which it is executed is called as a process. A process includes the complete execution context. Now it is stating here code, data, program counter, registers, operating system, resources in use, etc. All these are called as resources of a process. It is important to note that a process is not a program. A process is only one instant of a program in execution. Please note this point. Instant of execution of this program, the time at which the program is executed, that is called as a process. There are many processes which can be running at the same time. That is, there are many processes which are running at the same time. That is, the 5 major activities of an operating system in regard to the process management are: the very first one is creation and deletion of a user and system process. Suppose when a user requests the operating system to perform certain operations, it has to do that operation. Then the programs written in operating system is going to execute the programs written by the user. So that is called as creation and the deletion, creation of user and system process. How the deletion is going to be done? The deletion of that program, of that process is done once when it is swapped from the main memory to the secondary memory. That is called as a deletion of the user programs. Then the process is deleted. So if that is the case, suspension and resumption of process, that is swap out, swap in, that is called as suspension and resumption of processes. A mechanism for process synchronization, that is execution of one of the process is in progress, we may execute second process, we may execute the third process, the fourth process. This is called as synchronization, where one of this program or process is dependent on the resources of other thing, resources of other thing, resources of other thing. So there is a relationship between the different processes management. That means the synchronization is needed. A mechanism for process communication, that is the communication of one management with another management. For example, if I take up the example of developing team, where the task of developing team is to write the code. There is one more team called testing team. The task of testing team is to perform only in the testing operations. Then what is the task of the management? The management team is one who coordinates with the development team as well as the testing team. That is the one you need to understand here. So the process of communication goes on between the development team and the testing team. That is done by from one process to another process. So there must be a coordination between them. So a mechanism for deadlock handling. What is the meaning of deadlock here? Anyhow, I will explain it in the later sessions. But let me tell you the brief information of deadlock processing here, where one of the process P1 is waiting for the resources of P2, but P2 is waiting for the resources of P3, but P3 is waiting for the resources of P1. So there is a cyclic order. If there is a cycle in the graph, then we say that the system is deadlocked. So with this, I can say that the system has been hung. The system has been hung due to the lack of resources, where one of the process is waiting for the other process is waiting for one more process. So there is a dependency between one process and the other process. This is called as a deadlock situation. So the deadlock management is also needed. How the management is done? By resolving this graph. We need to resolve this cycle, decompose the cycle, then it becomes free to use any of the resources. There would not be any deadlock situation. That is the one you need to understand. In this case, I also told you that the few of the programs are swapped out to the secondary memory, and the program which is at higher priority must be brought from secondary memory to the main memory, that is swap in and swapped out. So the primary memory or main memory is a large array of words or bytes. Each word or byte has its own address. Yes, of course. Main memory provides storage that can be able to access directly by the CPU. That is to say, for a program to be executed, it must be in the main memory. I have already discussed with you that when there is a power off, there is no power, the programs will be stored in the secondary memory. Once when the power is on, during the process of execution, when you press the power button of your computer, the programs are loaded from secondary memory to the main memory, because whatever the operations and whatever the execution that is carried out by the system, that must be available in the main memory, not in the secondary memory. As soon as the work is over, this will be flushed off and it is brought back to the secondary memory. The updated, changed information is saved in the secondary memory, because even when there is no power, the information is saved in the secondary memory, but not in the primary memory. So it states that is to say, for a program to be executed, it must be in the main memory, that is in this main memory. Then the major activities of an operating system with regard to memory management are: first one, to keep track of which part of the memory are currently being used and by whom. Please notice that which part of the memory are currently being used and by whom. Multi-user environment. Multi-user environment. By whom? I am using the word by whom. So there is a multi-user environment. So multiple users will be using this system, and each one of them will be performing multiple jobs. So if that is the case, which program is loaded into the main memory? Whether this P1, P2, P3, P4, P5, P6, P7, P8, P9, so on like this. If that is the case, P1 is loaded here, P2 is loaded here, P3 is loaded here, P4 is loaded here, P6 is loaded here. We have an operating system at the bottom of this. So P1 is the program, and this memory location is allotted to user 1, user 2, user 3, and P1, P2, P3 is allotted to user 1, and the memory location P4 is used by user 2, P6 is used by user P6 or P7 is used by user 3. So this is called as user 1, this is called as user 2, this is called as user 3. So these three users, by whom it is being used by the memory, that is, the memory is being used by whom? This part of the memory is being used by whom? U3, user 3. Then decide which process are loaded into the memory when memory space becomes available. Suppose if I want to load P8, then there is no space here. I have to swap out one of the process here. Which process is ready to swapped out? Suppose if the execution of P4 is over, I will swap out into the secondary memory and P8 will be loaded into the place of this. So that P8 and P7 will be available on main memory, then U3, that is user 3, will be allocated with this memory location. Suppose allocation and deallocation memory space are needed. When it is needed, when the execution of process is over, it has to be swapped out to the secondary memory. When there is a requirement of high priority execution of a process, that must be brought onto the main memory. That is the thing you need to learn in case of memory management. There are many other management techniques that needs to be done by the operating system. Even though you may see that the mobiles are very small, that is Android operating system, that is powerful enough to do all these tasks, that is process management, memory management, IO management, all those things are done by the operating system, and the file management and many other things. Simultaneously, parallelly, it is done by the architecture of an operating system. How the operating system is designed, that is very, very important. In order to give you a practical knowledge of this, let me take up one of the examples in practical classes so that you will understand how the operating system works with practical knowledge. Let me write down one simple program. I will write down one simple program for the first come first served management, in which multiple processes will be given to the system, and let us see how does the system processes all those programs which are in queue. Suppose P1, P2, P3, P4 are the 4 different programs waiting for execution. How does the system executes all those processes P1, P2, P3, P4? Let us see to it in the practical class. I will write the program and I will execute, and I'll show you the execution of those programs. That is called as process management. Anyways, let me say thank you to one and all. Thank you.